it's Frank again from GameDebate.net. I'm going through another one of my collections here, and that would be, and I hate to admit this, but these are my stolen instruction booklets. Why stolen instruction booklets? Well, I was 14, I didn't know any better, and decided to keep all the instruction manuals from some of the games that I rented that I thought were cool. So, if you were pissed off at a kid who had rented a game before you, and there was no friggin' instruction booklet because somebody stole it, sorry. But this is just some of them that I could find. I know there's still a bit more, but I mean, I see people charging an arm and a leg for these on eBay, and I'm not going to sell mine, but I just think that's what's even worse than stealing them, selling them many years after, which is stupid. So anyways, let's just get right to it. These are in no order whatsoever. These are just, the way I got them. So, check it out. First one I got here is Donkey Kong Country, which is my girlfriend's favorite game of all time. Pretty mint. It's pretty cool. I remember renting this. I re-rented it 2 or 3 times, I think. Let's just say I was Blockbuster's best customer, so I figured I'd take these as a keepsake or whatever not. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country, very, very fond memories. Pretty mint, considering I've had it in a box for the last 10 years. I can't believe these survived so well. Then we got Super Street Fighter 2 here. That game needs no goddamn explanation. Pretty thick instruction booklet, mind you. All things considering. But, showed you how to do the moves properly and everything, as well as the 4 extra fighters that were in that game. Now we got Pinball Dreams by Game Tech. The only other games that I knew Game Tech to make were the Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy games. That's about it. I don't know what other games Game Tech did. They released Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the PC. That's the only other game that I know that they released. But this was Pinball Dreams. It wasn't bad. It was alright. I can't complain. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't one of the greatest games I'd ever played, but I thought it was alright. Justice League Task Force. This was a 2D fighting, head-to-head fighting game like Street Fighter, but with the DC characters. Now, I didn't think it was that bad, but I mean, it's by Sunsoft, and I'm not sure how many fighting games Sunsoft made. I knew Sunsoft more for their, what games did they release? More for their Batman games, for the NES, as well as, what else did these guys make? Arrow the Acrobat. But I didn't know these guys were making too many games. Oh god, look what's on the back there. Coming in September, Batman Forever. Yuck, what a shitty game that was. And Fatal Fury Special. Now, I actually own this game. I don't believe I own it boxed. At least I don't believe I do. No, I don't. I bought it used. I bought it used from Blockbuster, so I guess from the same store that I got this instruction booklet from. So, you know what? I basically stole the instruction booklet for a game I was going to own eventually anyway. I really like Fatal Fury Special. I've always been very fond of the game and its characters, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I still enjoy playing it. Still a great game. Or Garo, as they're called in Japanese. Maximum Carnage. Now, this was a good game by LGN or Acclaim, or it's all the same company anyway. They made a 2D comic book style beat 'em up with Venom and Spider-Man. Now, this was a sequel to Venom and Spider-Man. I forgot what that game was called, but it's pretty neat. Also, still pretty mint. You got a Mortal Kombat 2 ad, which, mind you, is the first mature rated game on the Super Nintendo. It was the very first game to feature violence, and it was uncensored, and boy did that ever pay off for them. That was the day Nintendo finally let their guard down and decided, hey, let's grow up. Art of Fighting. Again, I own this game as well, legitimately. I'm not quite sure where it is, but I'll have to find it. Art of Fighting is... I wouldn't say it's great, but at the time it was. When I play it now, I really think to myself, what the hell was I thinking? When I play this as a Neo Geo ROM, it plays a lot better, obviously, than on the Super NES. I mean, if you put this game on easy, sure, it's easy, but then you don't unlock any of the special moves and shit like that. Which, as you can see here, in my shitty handwriting, I wrote down as I finished the game. But, hey, what can you do? I still can't write that well. That's why I'm into computers. Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure by Interplay. I really, really, really miss Interplay's games. They were awesome games. You got Boogerman, Flings Boogers, Hogs Loogies, Farts. I mean, come on, what teenager did not enjoy this game? What kid did not enjoy this game? It was funny. It was really, really funny. Mucus balls. It was belching. I mean, fart attacks. Super fart. I mean, really, come on. Like, what game would have this today? I mean, really, what game would have this today? Of a guy whose ass is about to explode. And this is way back in, when did this come out? Usually should say, like, what year? 1990, no, sorry. That's different. It's the Seal of America. 1995. This game came out. Fucking awesome. Highly recommend that you pick it up if you can ever find it. This is one of the more harder instruction booklets to find. This is the Doom instruction booklet. Doom was compared to the PC version, obviously it wasn't as good. What I always found funny is the strategy guides. That no matter what strategy guide I looked through for this game, it all said make the monsters turn against each other, which you couldn't do. In the Super Nintendo versions, the monsters couldn't turn on each other. That artificial intelligence was taken out. So they couldn't kill each other like they did in the other games. It was released by Williams, which I'm surprised at. You got your power-ups. And graphically, though, it was pretty good. Had the music in it. The music was actually enhanced in the Super Nintendo version compared to that of the PC. And that was the only thing that was better about it. But the weapons were all there. Rad suits. Everything was in the game. But needless to say, this was an awesome game for the Super NES. This is the only N64 instruction booklet I own, and that's for War Gods. Now, this was a Midway, 3D fighting game, which wasn't too bad. It was kind of weird. Now that I actually think about it, you could play as a Haokin, Anubis. You could actually play as all these different Kabuki Joe, Sci-Fi. It was very interesting when you won as him. He would shoot his cannons up in the air and go roar. You got Maximus. I don't know if I believe this is based on the Maximus from that movie, but this was way before the movie came out. I don't know what the hell that is. That's sticky. Pagan, Voodoo, Tack. I don't remember any of these characters. Warhead. He was the guy that did the funny shooting up animation when he won. Vala. I guess it's Valhalla for short. Whatever. It wasn't great, but it was alright. This one needs no introduction. I own this one legitimately as well. Street Fighter Alpha 2 was one of the last games to come out for the Super Nintendo. And it didn't disappoint. They did give the system a proper farewell. At least in my opinion, it gave the system a proper farewell and treated it with respect by giving it one of the highest powered games for its time. And aside from it doesn't include the scrolling in and scrolling out while you're fighting. Other than that, the game is a good translation. Very good translation of the arcade game. Graphically, it's toned down a little bit, but you know what? It was still awesome. TKO Boxing. I have no idea why I stole this. This game wasn't particularly very good, but it kicked me in the balls so many times, and I was pissed off at it, and I guess that's why I stole the instruction booklet. Now, this was I'm not sure if this was a launch game, but it certainly played like one. Rocky Johnson. I don't know. These are all fictional characters, obviously. But this one is actually probably the most beat up one that I stole. So TKO Boxing wasn't a great game, but it was alright. And that, of course, leads us to Mortal Kombat 2. Now, I used to have the Genesis version of this one too, but the instruction booklet, which I had borrowed a friend's system and I rented it and played it. Oh no, sorry, that was for the first Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry. I own this game as well. This game was the first Super Nintendo game to feature violence. It was an excellent arcade translation, and of all the consoles that it was released to other than the Sega CD, it was an awesome, awesome translation, and I can't say enough how fucking awesome that game was. I still love playing this. I still love playing this game. And single-handed is probably one of the best, 2D fighting games of all time. And certainly raised the bar here. Graphically, this game looked great. I couldn't complain. Then, of course, we have MK3, which was not as good of a translation as its predecessor. That is also because the game was heavily graphic intensive, and the animations were nowhere near as clean as they were on the Super Nintendo. But, they were still good. The music was there, the characters were there. It was neat. It was alright. Whatever. It is what it is. Then we got Ultimate MK3, which I own as well. Now, again, it wasn't a great translation, but it had Scorpion in it, so it was cool. And of course, last but not least is Kirby's Dream Course. Now, this was I'm not sure if this is the first Kirby game on the Super Nintendo. It might be right, it might be wrong. And it basically featured you using Kirby as a giant golf ball on a mini golf course. Not quite know why Nintendo did this, but it was a good game. It was okay. I should try playing this again because when I played this initially in the 90s as a kid, I didn't really understand it that well. So, whatever. What can you do? So, those are my instruction booklets. Of course, you can't do that anymore, though. Steal the instruction booklets from the games anymore, because most rental places will have a magnetic stripe on them now, so you can't steal them anymore. Otherwise, they charge you for them. But I guess back in the early 90s, they weren't smart enough to figure that out yet. But that is why I have these here for you, and that's why you can view them. I hope you enjoyed my little video here of this. Remember to check out GameDebate.net. Check out our podcast where we also talk about retro gaming as well as current gaming events and stuff like that over at GameDebate.net. And there you can subscribe to our podcast as well. So until next time, Frank signing out. Toodles!